Girl Detective Club is an average, very average schoolgirl anime from the 1980s with a couple of explosions and some chase scenes thrown in for good measure. Our main characters are the yellow girl Shizuka, who is full of energy and loves her One-sama, and that's all the characterization that I can give that character because they really aren't even characters, it's that bad. The older girl is the older girl because there has to be one in a group of 3 girls. And the leader girl is the main character with not a single bit of characterization or personality given to her. I know it's an incredibly basic description, but that's all there really is to the characters from Girl Detective Club.
Wow.
They're just some girls. All 3 girls live in the prestigious St. Gotham's Women's Academy, and they do cute girl things like buying clothing, sneaking out for a night on the town, and if they do any actual detective work in their series, it all happens in the manga instead, because there is no actual detective work in this manga. So what is Girl Detective Club actually about? What is the story that's going on here? Well, the story for Girl Detective Club goes a little bit like this. One day, Midori gets kidnapped, and now it's up to her friends to find her. So what do? Well, they go over to their friend's house, and they see if she's there. And then they go in, and they get chased out by conventional weapons. And a kind of Scooby-Doo episode happens, where they're just running away in and out of doors and closets. Eventually, we discover why she was abducted, and we end the entire anime with an 80s style giant ship chase scene. That's about all the story that there is going for Girl Detective Club. You know, if I gave you a VHS tape with the words Girl Detective Club on them, what do you think that anime would be about? Probably something like Detective Conan, right? Maybe a girl goes missing and we get some Sherlock Holmes parodies going, right? But this might actually be the biggest bait and switch I've ever encountered with an anime, on VHS no less, and it has no detectives in it. It doesn't even have a club. There isn't even a club in this anime, but it does have a couple of cute girls, so at least it has that going for it. From what I can tell, they didn't even have a real manga to turn into an anime in the first place. The Girl Detective Club were mainly mascot characters created for Out magazine. That's like if Tony the Tiger was given his own anime because people liked his cereal so much. However, unlike Frosted Flakes, Girl Detective Club is not great. It is not a good anime in any sense of the word. Girl Detective Club was created by Isamu Eguchi, whose only work I can find is Out Magazine, which is the magazine that Girl Detective Club comes from, and there's no other credits that I could find to his name. So good bit of detective work there, Kenny. Great job. It was also directed by Masaharu Okuwaki, who did work on Detective Conan, but much later, and only as a storyboard assistant, so there's no help there. I really can't find pretty much anybody of note who worked on this thing. The artwork isn't very detailed except for a few shots of the spaceship flying by, and it's incredibly surprising that this was done by TMS of all people. They're still one of the best animation studios around even today. However, if my research is correct, this was their very first VHS anime, and I think it's safe to say this was probably some sort of test that they used to teach people how to draw better. Don't let the VHS tape shaking fool you either. It's not supposed to look like an episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy. The tape just has a lot of grit to it, and that hides just how basic and flat most of the scenes in this anime really are. If a Blu-ray ever did get made, it would actually make this anime look worse, if that makes any sense. Some of you may not be really familiar with what anime was like in the 80s, but this isn't normal for the 1980s. 1986? Actually a really good year for anime. Pretty damn good year, I would say. You had California Crisis, you had Bomber Bikers of Shonan, you had Twinkle Heart. Some really good anime came out that year, and a couple of bad ones too. But then you got Girl Detective Club, and man, it is just the worst. Sometimes anime from the 1980s were made with the assumption that you had read the manga earlier, and if you don't do that, the anime doesn't make a lot of sense. So just to give this anime the benefit of the doubt, let's look up what the manga for Girl Detective Club was actually about. Let's see, form a girl detective group and solve various cases. No, they don't. They don't do any of that. None of that's in there. None of that was in the anime that I watched. I don't know where that was supposed to be, but it's not in there. Anime I saw was two girls running away from explosions and occasionally hugging each other. That was the anime that I saw. Here's a picture of the girls from Girl Detective Club eating some sweet potatoes in a park. I don't have anything to add to that, nothing really interesting to say. I just thought it was a neat picture, and there really isn't a lot of information about this anime, so you can take what you can get. Next, we have a picture of these girls dressed up as the characters from a much better anime, Outlanders. I really wish I was watching Outlanders right now instead. Man, do I wish I was watching Outlanders. Looking into it a little bit more, they did actually have at least one chapter and issue in the magazine that they came from, and just like with most manga, it actually does look pretty good compared to the anime. Whether any of that actually made its way into the anime is anyone's guess though, because nobody has read the manga that this anime came from for over 30 years. It's that old. You know, I try my best to actually respect anime because anime is very difficult to make, but this anime does not deserve any respect. It just sort of exists. Its one saving grace is that it's only 24 minutes long, so at least it doesn't take up too much of your time. But that 24 minutes may as well have taken place in the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z because it felt like it took forever. I hate to say things like worst anime ever, right? Because then you're dealing in absolutes, and honestly, there's almost always another Twinkle Nora Rock Me out there if you look hard enough, but this is really scraping the bottom of the barrel with a big ol' wooden anime spoon. It's bad, but it's not funny bad, like Twinkle Nora Rock Me. It's just regular bad. The kind of bad that even sleep doesn't fix. This thing bothers me. So would I recommend Girl Detective Club from 1986? No, I would not. I would not recommend this even as a joke to watch with a couple of friends. There's nothing to be enjoyed about this anime in any way, shape, or form. If someone said, I'll give you $1 if you watch Girl Detective Club, go tell that person to go fly a kite, because there is no enjoyment to be had in watching Girl Detective Club. I want my 24 minutes back, and I kind of hate anime just a little bit more for having seen this. And that's about all there is to say about Girl Detective Club from 1986. I'd like to thank the 10,000 new subscribers that showed up out of nowhere. I don't know where you guys were in 2015 when I started up my channel, but it just puts a smile on my face to see so many people are still into old anime. And if you'd like to see more of what I do, all you gotta do is hit subscribe, and you gotta hit the bell or else you won't get notified because YouTube changed the entire way that the entire website works. You can't even search for videos by date or views anymore, apparently. So they're always changing things by the day. And yeah, just thank you. That's all I've got to say. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.